What up, peeps? I'm getting ready for the weekend. I figured I'd do it live. Maybe you guys got some questions. And if you have questions, I have answers. So we'll see if a few of you guys decide to come on. What's up, Bottom Line Fishing? What is going on? How you doing, man? As I'm getting ready for, or I should say we are getting ready for some fishing, full-on recording action this weekend. I just figured I'd do it right here, kind of rig up with you guys. If you guys got it. What's up, dude? Appreciate it, John. How you doing, man? Bottom Line Fishing. What's going on, guys? So I figured while I'm getting ready for the weekend, if you guys have any questions, you guys can fire away. I'm actually going to answer one question immediately. I've had a few of these questions on the lure, or you guys want to know what I thought about them. The last couple of videos we sort of discussed Trout Support, and if you guys saw the video today that we just went out and released, that was a pretty good sized black or redfish that we caught, and we used the Trout Support. Actually, it was this one right here. I'll show it to you guys again. I didn't realize that I had the Quantum in my hand. So this is the one that actually caught that 45-inch redfish that we recently got in. You know, it really didn't take too much damage. A lot of you guys wanted to know what I thought about these, and I'll answer it like this. First, I'll give you the truth about lures and fish. And you know, the lure industry is very competitive, and it's a very fast moving industry. There's a lot of what we call boutique brands that have sort of arisen in the last 7 years, I guess you could say. And what I classify as a boutique brand are, you know, they're not they're not like your, how can I put this? You know, I don't want to offend anybody, but they're not like the name brand brands, the ones that you'll see at like your academies and your big tackle shops. They don't mass produce. Now the plus side to that is you're getting a lot better quality on those boutique brands, I think. You know, and usually once those brands sort of start doing good and they start bringing in and raking in the funds, then usually they go to mass production. But the truth behind lures, especially soft plastics, you know, some will argue about advantages and disadvantages on some based off lure design. But honestly, really, it's so dependent on the fish and the circumstance and the situation. You know, like I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation, but there's a big difference between when a fish is standing still and is at the bottom and you're fishing like a grass line versus a fish that is pushing bait or moving in schools. Like, I don't care what lure you use. If the fish is moving, if it's pushing bait, if it's moving in schools, it's going to probably hit anything you throw. And I'm talking whether it's soft plastic, Rice Krispie treats, you know, bottle caps, you know, tortillas, you know, for that matter. That's just, you know, that's just the way it is. I'm sorry, you know, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that will maybe rebuttal that, but it's the truth, you know, it really is the truth. So it's very, you know, whenever we talk about if I like a lure or not, I don't really, as long as the lure is giving out good vibration, I'm all in. You know, I use a lot of paddle tails, so there's just a bunch of different styles of paddle tails. For you guys who've been watching the show for a while now, I use Matrix Shad. They work for me. I like the color variation. But there's a lot of paddle tails out there that work. Now, where do I classify Trout Support? Situational fishing, dude. That's why I like it. I don't like it because I feel like it can catch more fish. Well, should I say it like that? No. Well, it can catch more fish based off the situation, and this is the difference. Okay, so the reason that I'm going to put this lure in my tackle box and use it is because, well, there's actually three big reasons. One, if you ever, here's what it looks like, right there. And by the way, guys, I'm just answering y'all's questions. I'm not affiliated with these guys whatsoever. It's probably one of the most dense soft plastics that I've ever felt, and that kind of stood out to me because when a soft plastic is dense, what that tells me is I don't need big old jig head to launch it. And they call them grass walkers, so I was like, grass walker, well, that must be buoyant, you know, must float, maybe a subsurface lure. Let me pause right there. What's your relationship with YouTubers? Oh, hang on. Ah! I wanted to answer your question, dude. What the heck just happened? Beef jerky. That's right. Yeah. First off, Coach Daniel, that's a great question, man. I don't, dude. I came when I started recording YouTube videos, man. It's tough to say, man. Like, if you go back and look at some of our content, man, a lot of it was just, man, we were learning, dude. Kayak fishing really, it changed the way I thought of fishing. It really did. I was born in fishing off piers, jetties, boats, but then kayak fishing, man, it just rocked my world. I feel like I had to relearn a lot of stuff, but that was sort of the beauty of it. Now, fast forward to your question. My relationship with you, I don't really associate with too many YouTubers, just because I'm so busy. It's got nothing to do with what I mean, whether I don't like them or not. I don't have any bad relationships with YouTubers whatsoever. I'm just so busy making my own content, man. I just don't have time to really go out and say hi. I mean, I've Robert Fields. I've been in the same unit. Actually, we were in Florida, sleeping in the same quarters. What was it, 3 years ago for the Extreme Kayak Fishing Series? Cool dude, man. Real cool dude, man. And every time I run into him, we always talk it up. Real cool guy. I've met Ty Sutherland quite a bit. Well, I would say like 4 or 5 times. That's quite a bit for me. And when he used to live here in Corpus, I met him a couple times. Who else? That's really about it that I've actually honestly met. Just because we're always fishing. We would do way too much fishing, man. So my relationship with YouTubers is great. I'm gonna come back to what I was discussing on this on these lures. I don't have any issues with any YouTubers. I think that you were sort of asking like if they were BSers or something. You know what, dude? There's a lot of BSers, not just in YouTube, but even outside of that. If somebody tries to sell you on a lure, or a YouTuber tries to sell you on a lure saying that it's gonna catch more fish, you need to ask questions. There's so much variables in that, dude. Well, where is it gonna catch fish? Okay, so where does this catch fish? And bringing it back full circle to Trout Support, we have a big problem here in Texas during a certain time of the year where we have to fight with a lot of vegetation, snodgrass, algae if you're in certain areas, where you just can't use a traditional jig head. Like, let me grab this right here. This is this is the matrix shed that I've been using for the past 3 years. And here, let me get the jig head for it. This is your jig head right here. It's just a 1/8 jig head. I go very light because here in Corpus and the Laguna Madre, you want as much play as you can in shallow water. What that means is if you have a big old fat jig head and you're only working in 3 foot of water, boop, like it's just gonna sink, and you got no time to play or to do your thing, man, to work the lure. So I predominantly use 1/8 across the board, man. I rarely go any higher than that unless I'm fishing a deep channel, which is rare. I do a lot of shallow water fishing unless I'm offshore, of course. So, but what I like about this, going back to the conditions, dude, this is like probably one of the best subsurface soft plastics that I've ever used, because if you guys decide to ever try it, like just pick it up and feel how heavy it is. It's amazing how heavy. I don't know how he did it, but I want to ask Tim. Tim's a cool guy. Like I just recently met him, and I've been kind of talking to him, just getting his, trying to ask a few questions, getting his head on how he designed this. But dude, like this is probably one of the most heaviest soft plastics. It's dense and buoyant all at the same time. So basically what that means is you got with the weight, with its density, you have the casting ability with it, and he claims that it falls just a little short of like a Spook Junior or like a Topwater Badonkadonk, which is crazy to me. Like I could not launch this, not even half that, unless I'm flinging it and I got a top-notch reel with some Boca bearings. So you can get distance, and then once it lands on the water, dude, it's a slow sinking lure. So I will use this situationally in very shallow water, when I'm dealing with algae, when I'm dealing with snodgrass, or just basic vegetation high up on the water. So that's why I like it, man. And the fact that I don't have to put in a jig head, I can actually just go a straight 4/0 owner hook with a twist lock, which goes right here. Where's it at? I'll show you what that looks like. This is basically what that looks like. Now, of course, to modify that to an actual weedless setup is right here. You don't want that hook to be exposed like that, so you just kind of skin it. Some guys jam it in there. Dude, honestly, I barely skin it, and I work with that. Even if there's a little notch sticking up, I'll adjust that a little bit. This one's been hit already by a few reds. But yeah, just barely skin it. You don't have to jam the nose of the hook in there. And no bueno. Sorry about that. So anyway, I like the lure. You guys want to give it a shot? Go out and buy some, man. Like I said, I'm not working with these guys or paid by them. I decided to try them, and I scored that big old redfish last week, and it was really because of this setup. I wouldn't be able to go there with any other paddle tail in a traditional jig head. It had to have been something like this, something that was subsurface and that I could launch, because those kings, I'm still in offshore mode. Those redfish, man, they were spooky, so distance was everything. I had to maximize my castability, and the weight of that lure really helped. And with it being sort of subsurface and slow sinking, it gave me a lot of time to work that lure. Probably one of the only lures I've ever used that was soft plastic on this setup, where I could almost walk the dog. I mean, not like a true walk the dog, but just right inches under the water line, man. It's really cool. Really cool. So hopefully that answered your questions. If you guys have any questions, I will take them. I know I probably missed a few here. John Martinez, Rob, touche, what's up, dude? Beef jerky will work, yes sir. What's up, Wagner? I hope I'm saying that right, from Brazil. What is up? What's up, Matt? Let's see, what are you saying here? 8th, I need to take ribbon a lure sometimes. Yeah, I mean, as we get close to winter, yeah, you definitely want to start slowing things down, but don't just do it because it's cold. What decides when you start slowing your winter retrieval, you need to look at the bait. It's all about matching the hatch, man. When you look at the bait and you start seeing bait become lethargic in the water, that's what you want to mimic. That's why those what do they call them? Those Bill Brown lures, I guess. Those little with the broken backs. They're basically subsurface also. That's why those are so popular during the winter, man. Because most of your bait is going to be lethargic, and it's just going to be kind of like sitting there twitching and sitting there floating, twitching. And if you can match that, then trout identifies that as a living, breathing bait. What's up, naughty boy? Be back in Rockport next Friday. How's the topwater action? It's been good, dude. I mean, topwater action right now, the weather has been laying down. We've had these fronts come in, and the way that these fronts have come in, they've sort of been clashing, and the weather's just been bottoming out, and so we've had a lot of sub 10 mile an hour days. You wake up early morning, sitting there in about 5 to 1 mile an hour days, and that'll last until about maybe 10 o'clock, you know. I mean, it just depends on the day, but your topwater action's been great. RM Quickie 30 coming in late. Can you show that setup again? Yeah. So real quick, I was just answering a few questions. A bunch of dudes had some questions on these Trout Support, whether I liked them or not. The verdict was yes, I do like them. It's very situational fishing with these lures. You know, if I'm not having to worry about any type of vegetation, I got a clear bottom. These are my go-tos, a matrix shed with just your 1/8 jig head. But unfortunately, that's not always the case here. You know, if you're going to be fishing about a foot of water, which right now I know that, you know, we're identifying the jetties right now and all the fish are moving in October. But the fact of the matter is, there's still some really good fish that can still be caught in about 1 to 2 foot of water. And when you have shallow water like that, and you don't want something that's just going to quickly sink to the bottom, like this is going to be your ticket right here, dude. As you'll notice, there's no jig head, no weight, because what I was telling these guys earlier was that this is such a dense lure. It's by Trout Support, and it actually has a lot of play on top. Very slow sinking. Pretty sure they identify it as a subsurface, or classify it as a subsurface bait. So I counted like about a good 5 seconds before it hit the bottom at about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. So Benny Riggs, ooh, you want to get to the good stuff, dude. Thanks. All right, I'll answer that. What's up, coach? Reading content, just started kayaking about 2 months from Austin. What's up? Nice. Keep up the good work. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. It means a lot, coach. We are having a lot of fun with it. Just, you know, be safe. That's all that, you know, I always recommend. I mean, kayak fishing, when I first got into it, I broke every rule in the book. Made every mistake. So if you ever need help as far as advice, man, reach out. We're on Facebook. That's your best way to contact us immediately, because we're always on that. So all right, Benny, so you were asking the questions on how far out we go out offshore. I'm sure that's what you're referring to with rigs, obviously. So that it depends, man. You know, Corpus Christi, Aransas, all the way to the pins, we are blessed with very numerous close inshore rigs. It can vary from anywhere from a little bit less than a mile all the way to 3 miles if you're a very well seasoned offshore kayak angler and your stamina's up and you're in good shape, not physically but internally. There's a difference. You know, I know guys that stretch out 7 miles one way and it can come back. So the furthest I've ever gone was about 7 miles one way. That was a heck of a paddle, man. I think we clocked in about a good 25 miles round trip that day. All right, sorry about that. Let me get situated here, man, because this obviously ain't working out. Let me put this here. All right. All right, I think we're back. I think I need to find balance in the force here. You guys still with me? We're on overtime now. All right. So I'll kind of, what's up, dude? Yeah, I'm back now. I forgot to plug in my phone, and the audio may not sound as good now. I had my condenser mic plugged in, but obviously I need that port for charging. So what were we saying? What were we talking about? We're talking about I forgot where I left off at. I know we were talking about the Trout Support and answering y'all's questions as far as yes, I do like them. Gave you guys a reason. Oh, the rigs. Yeah, so you know the rigs are anywhere between a little bit less than a mile to 7 miles out. There's a few of them that are 8, but I wouldn't recommend anybody going to those, man. You really need to make sure that you are in shape for that kind of a paddle. Most guys that start off, I won't say exactly where, but there's a couple rigs that are good for starters, and that'll condition you for about a good 2 mile round trip. So 1 mile each way, you'll be playing in about a good 30, 40 foot of water, maybe 50, depending on circumstances. I usually like to hang around about 4 miles, 4 to 5 miles offshore. If I feel real good and I know the blue water's pushing in here on Texas, I'll push further. But the conditions have to be right. So that is to answer your question about how far we go out. My first kayak tripping was in Florida. I met some locals, guys went about 3 miles. It's a good trip. What part of Florida are you from, Benny, if you're still with us? Slick Rick, what is up, dude? Nick, what up? Oh yeah, a couple miles is doable. I mean, you know, this time of year, man, you don't even have to paddle out a mile. Actually, not even half a mile. All the mullet and minnows that we've got running in the surf right now, the glass minnows and stuff. I mean, you can catch kings. Shoot, even cobia, man, will come in real close during the winter here in Texas. You can catch all those species most of the species that you've seen us catch offshore on those videos. You can actually catch most of those now, third gut, you know, or a little bit further out. So it's easy mode in October. But of course, you guys know we've made a full transition to inshore. Well, not a full, but we're sort of in between offshore and inshore. Navarre Beach, yeah, that's where I think Rex Del Rey lived out there for a few years, if I'm not mistaken. That's cool, man. I've always wanted to go to Navarre. I've never fished Navarre. I've fished Pompano Beach in Florida. I've competed out there during the Extreme Kayak Fishing Series. Fought, arguably, a couple sailfish, lost them, obviously. Otherwise, I'd have something to show for it. And it took me 3 years, man. I went the first time I went, and then I skipped a year and a half or so, and then I went again, so about 3 years. Then I come back to Corpus Christi. I catch a sailfish. Like, that's just, like, what is that? That's just so weird. Luck is what it is. But we boated her. It's all that matters, man. Actually, here, for those of you guys who never saw that one's saltwater angler right here. Definitely a little bit of history there, man. Super stoked. That's a highlight catch right there. And and check this out. So 2 Texas anglers actually went and got sailfish. This is the same, like, we were all on the same team. So this year, this one was done in Florida. That's Eric. And then same year, just a few months later, we got this one in Texas. So Florida sail, much cuter. Texas sail, just grungy. Now, actually, the difference right here, the reason this one's a lot wider is because he finessed this one. I'll tell you the story behind this sailfish. Eric he got all his gear stolen. And so he had to go to Bass Pro and go get and reload all his offshore gear, like budget. I'm talking combos that were like probably $40, dude. You know, like combos that were so low end, they're probably good for one trip. And the dude ends up getting a sailfish in Florida, in Pompano, man. I thought that was so cool and crazy. I mean, everything was done on light tackle. We fought this thing for well over an hour. So it did not exhaust. His oxygen levels were good, so that's why the color stays. If you wear out a sailfish, that's what it looks like, man. Their colors change on you. So that's just a little, I don't know, little something for you guys to know, in case you guys didn't know. So let's see, what other questions? Benny, you're from North Texas. brother, I need to get up there and get some bass, dude. You know, I've only gone on I would say, one bass trip. Not a big freshwater guy. The only bass trip I've ever done was in the heart of, well, not the heart, but in the border of Mexico. Sketchy, dude. Sketchy, man. In Sugar Lake, Mexico, we've got two series on that. And if you go to our freshwater playlist, you'll see 3 videos, a gar and 2 bass. And, dude, too long of a story for me to say over Facebook or YouTube. But if I ever meet you guys and we hang out, that's definitely a campfire story, man. It was good times, dude. So if you guys don't have any other questions, the whole purpose of this was I'm getting ready for this weekend. We're going to be doing some fishing and filming. I was rigging up some stuff here. And I figured I'd show you guys while I was doing that, answer any questions if y'all had, because I will be off the grid here for the next couple days. And, you know, I was thinking about putting together a video and going over this. But you know what, I'd rather just do it live with you guys. This way, if y'all have any additional questions, I could answer that. And by the way, I know I posted up, if you guys follow us on Instagram, I put out just a little, just wondered what kind of response we'd get. But we're going to be casting these and see which one has a greater cast. This is a Quantum PTS Energy Burner 7 against a Lose MCS. The Laser MG, actually. So we had about 500 responses on which one would cast further. And believe it or not, man, the Quantum, people said the Quantum would. I thought that was so crazy. Lose is like, you know, they've been doing great. So I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there is a winner for sure. It's just a casting competition between them. They're both about the same price point, about 80 to 90 bucks. Bobby T. Am I doing any flounder fishing? Yeah, we will. We will, man. We've got a tournament here next week that I'm going to be, I wouldn't say hosting, but I'm definitely just kind of helping promote it. I'll be up there on the mic, so if any of you guys are coming to this tournament next week, I will hand you guys hopefully a paycheck. That's the Redfish Bay Kayak Fishing Tournament. You can look that up on Facebook if you're in the Aransas Pass area or Corpus area. Been trying Cast King Legend, 70 bucks. Nice roll. Yeah, Cast King's been coming out with some good price point, cost effective gear. A lot of people have recently. Let me show you guys something. This is a sneak peek, dude. Speaking of where's that? Cast King is on this as well. Like these guys, I'm gonna be reviewing this in October. I'm reviewing like different tiers of gear, you know, just to help you guys out. I got so many guys that come up and they're like, man, well, I can't afford an $80 reel. I can't afford a $100 setup. You know, what's my best buck for 30, 40 bucks? So this is one of them that's in there that I'm gonna be testing out. This is like a $40 reel or something, which is comparable to like Garcia Silvermax. I think these are like 40 bucks too, 30, 40 bucks. It's gonna be interesting, man. I'm gonna open them up, look at the internals, and see what the build quality is. Believe it or not, man, these are actually all right. Phone calls. All right. Well, if I keep getting this many phone calls, that means that I better wrap it up. You know what I mean? So, all right, guys. Well, we'll be fishing this weekend, man. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Like, subscribe, share, you know, all that lame YouTuber stuff. Let me know what you think about that Cast King Slick. Any words of advice for my son who would like to start his own YouTube fishing page? Keep in mind he is 8. Woo, he's 8, man. I don't know. I don't know, dude. Just tell him to keep true and don't sugarcoat anything. If he doesn't know anything, feed off of that. Like, build off of that. You know, I see so many YouTubers out there that try and come in and they're know-it-alls, you know what I mean? And when they're really not. And you know, if there's something I don't know or I'm learning, like just be straight up, because guarantee you there's somebody out there that does know, and they'll call your bluff. So as a kid, as somebody who's growing into the fishing community, I would say build off of not knowing everything and grow it. You know what I mean? So make that his strength, and then as he's continuing and growing and growing and growing, then he starts to teach. You know, so that's all. That's what I would say. So, man, I'm trying to. Let me see. Yeah, dude, John, if you dunk a silver max, it's game over, dude. Well, I mean, if you dunk anything, you know, depends on where you're at. I don't know where you're at, but out here in Laguna, uh, dude, we're like a super sailing lagoon, dude. So whatever I mean, if you're outside of this area, whatever your salinity levels are, times that by 3. That's what we got to deal with out here in Laguna Madre, all the way down to Baffin. Um, I think it kind of fades out once you get way down there, like into Port Mansfield area. But super saline, dude, is no joke, man. You drop your reel, anything in a super saline lagoon, game over, man. I don't care. I don't care if it's a $200. Dude, I have a $200 reel. One of those. What is it? Where is it? Oh man, I don't have it here. It's one of those. The saltwater guys like them. I mean, the freshwater bass guys like them. They do great out there. Anyway, it's ruined. What time you recommend hitting the water? Man, dude, I mean, immediately. I was. Yeah. You ever do guide? No, man, I'm not a guide, Benny. I am not, man. I'm an adventurer, dude. I just plan out my adventures. I go. I've been into some sketchy situations. I'm not gonna lie, but I kind of love that stuff, dude. As dangerous and stupid as some of it is, I love it. So I've gone from Mexico, fishing with people affiliated with the cartels, you know, all the way into places that is inhabitable, to Florida, and I'm trying to get to Costa Rica next, man. So we'll see how all that works out. No, man. I mean, if you come down, and if I'm not doing anything, I'll take you guys out. I'm not a guide. I'm not a licensed guide. Take you guys out, and we're gonna have fun. You know, and that's all that I'll charge is fun. So, no, I am not a guide. No problem, Bobby. What up, Slot City Fishing? What's up, brother? I like to fish early morning, late in the evening, man. But that changes, man. Fishing cycles change, and that can affect the time that fish eat. Now, there's a lot of things that affect fish cycles, so it's kind of a tough question to ask. It depends on the time of year, moon phase and stuff like that, or yeah, tides, all that stuff plays into that. Have you talked about the Trout Support? Yes, I did. David, dude, you're part of the reason why I even went live on it. You and about I think 11 other guys, man. I've been getting a lot of questions. And yes, dude, so I did a whole spill on Trout Support. Whenever this transmission ends, David, I'm going to put it on I might create a new list, a new playlist called just like live discussions. I don't know. I'll figure something cool out, but I'll separate our live events. So right now we have saltwater adventures, freshwater adventures, and we've got sort of behind the scenes, which is where I get a chance to talk to you guys about gear and just different things that we do that you guys probably would have never known would have happened on our production episodes. The reason is because I don't believe in selling you a product while I'm taking you guys out on an adventure. Like, I just want you guys to enjoy the fishing and just have fun with this, you know what I mean? So behind the scenes kind of separates that, and it allows me to answer y'all's questions, what we do. We product test all kinds of stuff, man. Like just recently, this past video, like that braid that I was talking about, you know, that's one of them that we've been product testing for like a year and helping them out. So so yeah, I'm sorry, David, to answer your question, whenever this is done streaming, go back, you'll see the discussion on that. What do you think about pack? What What do you think about what? Packery Flats. Packery Flats is going to be on fire, dude. All those reds that are coming off of it, they're also going to be banking off into the flats. So fish the edges, fish the grass lines. Don't veer too far away from those jetties if you're around them. Just in side cast, man. Look for clear water, and if you can find some clear water, that's going to be your attack point. Have you ever crashed your drone? Yeah, dude. Hang on, I'll show you one right now. Well, I can't really show you one right now. Okay, look. Whenever I'm doing these behind the scenes, look in the background where the window's at, and there's two drones that are hanging up on the wall. Both of those have crashed. One of them I crashed into a tree. The other one I hit a power line, dude. That was a mess. So yeah, I've crashed drones, man. But you got the best drone pilots fly fearless, dude. And I'm still working on my drone skills, but I try not to let what happened to those two drones up there affect me. So I fly very careless, but I mean not careless in the sense of where it's not safe. I just mean like if I want a cool shot and I'm gonna get close to something, I try not to get too nervous, man, because it's worth that shot, you know. So, but these drones, you know, that we get, they've paid themselves off, so I don't mind losing drones. Yeah. What's up, Slot City? If you ever need an actual pilot, let me know, bro. I'll film you. Yeah, maybe, dude. You know what, man? I'll hold you to that, dude. Maybe not this year. Well, no, maybe this year. We'll see. We're working on some. What are we working on right now? I need to do a really good surfing entry, kayak surf entry video. I've got a few ideas for it. A lot of guys are intimidated of the surf, man. So I really wanted to make a video to help guys out with that. So yeah, I ended up wanting to end transmission. You guys kept asking questions. That's fine. So if we don't have any other questions, man, yeah. So the next 2 days we'll be on the water. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys get onto some fish. If you guys get onto some fish, man, send us an email. We'll post your pictures up. We write for a couple different magazines, man. If you have one heck of a story to tell or something that you think is deserving of a story, hit us up, man. We'll make an article on it. I write every 2 weeks for the Saltwater Angler, and then quarterly on Kayak Angler magazine. So I'm always looking for good stuff to write, and having you guys as an audience, you know, you never know. Some of you guys out there might have a story that needs to be told. So keep that in mind. You can always message us on Facebook. Just look us up on Facebook. We have Instagram, Twitter. Of course, obviously you guys are here. Do you just know? Just stop wagging back. Did you just say you don't mind? No, dude. Yeah, you gotta fly fearless, dude. The best drone shots are when you don't care about what's going on, dude. Yeah. So if you see a drone flying and cutting some of your hair, it's probably me. Luis, yeah, leg luggage, brother. Try it out, man. Good stuff, dude. We did an episode about that a few days ago. Yeah, man. Hey, good luck, Slick. I'll be getting on some flounder here hopefully after this weekend. We'll see, man. Flounder, tricky, man. That's one. You know, I just have. It's tough to follow flounder. You know, they move so quickly. But you'll probably know a little bit better than me. I don't know how much you're willing to talk about flounder, but when they start migrating in, which they should have already started, right? If I'm not mistaken. So y'all's holes, if y'all do have flounder holes, should be good right now. I just haven't been on them. You know what I mean? I've been on reds, kings, and I've been actually all over the place. So I haven't really been able to hone in on one species besides red right now. So have a good one, Slick Rick. Benny, go get one of the Yeah, well, we'll see if I can get a big old saddlebag. Well, anyway, guys, it's holy moly, 40 minutes is already creeping up. I could talk to you guys forever. That went by quick. I hope I got a chance to answer some of your questions before I head on out, but we're pretty much locked and loaded. And we will be off the grid, like I said, for 2 days. Um, Live bait, it just depends. Depends on the type of year, Luis. I'll go over that, actually. I'll tell you what, I will include that. That is for you, dude. Whenever we're done with this redfish episode, we're going to be talking about baits, lures, and how to adjust based on, you know, what do you want to use at what time of year, and why. You know, there's a bunch of people have questions about that, so we will include that. The guideline's good, man. I can't complain, dude. It's good. I haven't really been talking about it, but I have been testing it out for the past year, and that's sort of why I put that title. I bet you didn't know this or whatever, and because a lot of people don't know that I actually caught the sailfish, the kingfish, and all those species that I had listed on that video on that braid. But I didn't say anything because, you know, I think it's important to really run a product down to the ground and then give them some honest feedback. So it's been a year, and I give them some honest feedback, and I don't mind using it. They're trying to make strides on the quality of braid, and I'll use them until I find something that is bad. And then if something's bad about it, the true test of a company is how quickly they will jump on it to fix it and resolve it, and then customer service comes into play, and we'll see. You know, every company gets tested at one point or another. Recommendations for bait, live, and artificials matrix. Wow, every time I try and go, man, you guys jump up with these questions. No problem, Luis. Bustillo. Depends on the time of year. I'm a match a hatch kind of guy, dude. So if I see shrimp pushing, I'll give you a scenario. How about that? I'm in some dark water, some very chalky, milky, nasty water. If I'm seeing, you know, I'm going to be looking to see what redfish, for example, are pushing. If they're pushing shrimp, then I will literally go with something that's comparable to that. If they are pushing mullet or minnows, you know, then I'll shrink my lures down. Give you guys a perfect example of this, and you guys are gonna think that I'm crazy, but let me show you what I mean. You know, sometimes these reds, since we're in October, catch a red all day and something like this. If he's pushing bait, like I said, it doesn't matter what you use, dude. Doesn't matter what you use. You can use what I use. You can use a tortilla. You can use some beef jerky. If a redfish is pushing bait and it's schooling, you're going to catch it no matter what if you just throw it at its head. But still, if you want to increase your chance, I do believe in matching the hatch. I use these little guys right here, man. These are the, like, what are they called? Micro minnows or something from Matrix Shad. Whenever I see like the very beginning stages of like a minnow hatching, like a glass minnow hatching, I'll use these right here. And they're hitting shrimp, mullet, whatever. I'll obviously adjust the color, but I'll use a paddle tail similar to this. And if I'm in a grassy situation and shallow water, my new go-to is the Trout Support for that. Very dense lure like I was talking about earlier. So you get long castability and you get a lot of play because it's buoyant, which means that it's slow sinking. So it's a subsurface lure. But you can also kind of almost walk the dog with it. If you guys want a little bit more info on that, you can rewind the video. We're going on 44 minutes now. Holy smokes. Alright, this time it's for real, guys. We got to jet out and catch us some big fish. Wish us luck. Like, subscribe, share. Hit that little, there's like a little note, there's like a bell button there. I was told. Apparently, if we release a video and if you click that, it'll let you guys know, whatever, if you like our stuff. So, alright, guys. Peace. Slick Rick. Lates, all you guys. Y'all be safe out there. Don't do anything I would